Welcome to the fake deep era of social media, where influencers and celebrities claim to be self-aware and activists when in reality, they're not. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the controversy surrounding Chappell Roan and her appearance at the Call Her Daddy podcast, where she managed to piss off black women, white women, the drag community, the LGBTQIA community, mothers, Republicans, and Democrats. So, welcome back to Amaya's Unsolicited Opinions, and let's get right into today's video.
And I'm finally getting the support that I need and have dreamed of for so long, and it's awful, and I hate it, and people are horrible. People are like out there streaming my songs, playing my music. Like, fuck off. Fuck off. I don't like you. I don't like you. You're not the kind of I don't want this support. I don't want people telling me to speak out on things that could change people's views and change people to donate to things that actually matter. I hate it. I hate it. I sit in my room. I hate kids. My friends have kids. I hate them and their kids. And it's horrible. And I hate everything. Nothing excites me.
So to start this video off, Chappell Roan is an American pop star known for her camp and drag influenced aesthetics. Her recent controversies were surrounding her yelling at the paparazzi for being disrespectful.
I gotta shut the f up, Chance. This is fine. You shut the Hey! Yeah! Yo! Chappell!
And a lot of people on the internet rewarded her for this behavior because the paparazzi is known for being disrespectful and invading the privacy of celebrities. But she has also been greatly known for her influence during the presidential election with Kamala Harris versus Trump, of getting on the internet and telling the LGBTQIA community and the black community voting between Trump and Kamala Harris is voting between the lesser of the two evils.
Chappell Roan is being held to a higher standard on her political views than other white pop stars such as Taylor Swift or Billie Eilish or Sabrina Carpenter, and that's because Chappell Roan has positioned herself as someone with these high standards. She has created a brand of being an artist activist. She very publicly turned down performing at the White House explicitly because of their stance on She's become a beacon for asserting the rights for queer and trans communities, and she, without prompting, will talk about political issues she cares about. And so when she comes forward with some pretty poorly thought out ideas about both sidesism between the Democratic and Republican parties, when she complains that people should do their own research while mispronouncing Kamala, of course people, including queer people of color such as myself, are going to be mad at her. How can you position yourself as a principled, knowledgeable artist who wants to use your platform to speak about social and political rights and then perpetuate asinine ideas about the Democratic and Republican parties being equally harmful to trans people?
And a lot of Trump's laws are very much against black POC and the LGBTQIA community. Let's get into how she started pissing all these people off. So recently I was scrolling on TikTok and I noticed a lot of women were getting on the internet and were upset about Chappell Roan's recent podcast for a variety of different reasons. So let me start off with why the mothers were upset. A lot of mothers were getting on the internet and specifically talking about this clip where Chappell Roan essentially said that a lot of her friends who had children from her past are living in hell and that she would never want to be a mother and believes having children is not worth it.
Okay, are you still close with your friends from back home?
Yeah, I am. They're really awesome. We have such different lives. They are, a lot of them are married with children and they have their own houses and to me, I'm like, I don't know when that's gonna happen for me. I don't know when that is realistic, if ever. So
do you want that?
Get married and
yeah.
I don't know. I part of me is is it even gonna be legal to marry my wife one day, you know? I don't know. So, but kids, all of my friends who have kids are in hell. I don't know anyone. I actually don't know anyone who's happy and has children at this age.
I feel iffy. I feel two ways about this situation. So recently there has been a trend on TikTok where it's called 21 with no kids, where people show off their lifestyle, how they live without having any children. And due to this, and due to so many people who aren't even 21 and who are 21 showing off the luxury and peaceful lifestyle that they're living without children, it has caused a lot of women to get on the internet who do have kids to basically lash out and say, I didn't choose this life. Or there's been comments thrown that women who don't have kids are bitter and infertile. And I'm specifically speaking about this woman who went viral on the internet for being 26 with 6 kids.
People on TikTok, these young girls on TikTok who are really just selfish brats that are really young, if they pursue this path, what they'll really wind up as is in their 50s, like Kelsey Handler is, and alone and taking pills to make themselves happy. It's why I talk about feminism as being a trap, modern feminism in this latest iteration as being a trap, because it makes you fundamentally unhappy and alone.
Some of y'all just can't help it but to be mad at the next person and what they doing with their life. Baby, yes, I'm 26 with 6 kids and I'm doing the damn thing. I get up every day and make sure I do something productive around my house. I make sure that my kids see me cleaning up. I make sure that they do their part while they cleaning up. I used to think that everybody was right when they used to tell me, oh, why you got so many kids so young? It's gonna mess up your life. But baby, look, this is my life and I gotta deal with it. I ain't mad at the life that I chose. I chose it and I'm gonna do what I gotta do to provide for my kids the best way I can.
I have 6 kids because as a child, I was never loved. I'm trying to give my kids the love I never had. I needed my kids, if that makes sense. I needed them.
She was saying that a lot of these women who did not have children were bitter and infertile because they were kind of condemning her for having 6 kids at 26, because how many kids are you like, you were basically having a kid every year. You're basically having a kid every year, and causing a strain on a lot of women's mental health. It is extremely important to know if you can afford kids, how many kids you can afford, and if you don't got no money to afford no kids, keep them legs closed, okay? You know, the way that Chappell Roan has said this within the podcast, she said it in a poorly delivered way. Personally, I do not believe that having children is hell. I believe that having children is complicated. I believe that it's a hard job. I believe that it's a job where you're never really going to be ready for it, but you should be financially ready for it. You should have something in place to be ready for this kid to come on the earth and live peacefully, you and the child. And you know, her basically saying it was hell, it did come off a little bitter, and it did come off a little miserable as she continued to speak, considering she was speaking as if she was 19 or 20 and she's 27. So yeah, I believe, you know, the message made sense, considering the economy and the society we live in, but her delivery was very poor, and that's something that we're going to notice as we continue going on in this video. So let's get into how she pissed off Black women, the drag community, and the LGBTQIA community. Okay. So during the same podcast, she also delves into her controversy surrounding the election and essentially says, I'm a pop star. I'm not a politician. You shouldn't expect me to, you know, stay up to date with politics and be a pop star and pay people and do my job, because who does that?
How can these girls tour, write, perform, interview, sleep, eat and work out, and like how can they do it all and lead a team and be a boss and pay people and like and be like so politically educated? It's
exhausting,
and it's also impossible. Also, why the are you looking to me for some political answer? You think I have the answer?
But you're like, listen to my song, bitch. Turn it up.
Like, I'm a pop star. I wish I had the answers. I wish the president was a pop star. But she's...
Meanwhile, we have celebrities and we have stars like Doechii and Megan Thee Stallion who actively are getting degrees, are actively promoting their albums, are actively going on tour, and still taking that extra time and extra step out in participating in politics because it actively affects them as human beings. But you know, let's just go with that. You know, as a pop star, it's not her job to know politics because she's not a politician. It is your job to be liked, period. And I'm gonna obviously end the video off with my conclusion, but at the end of the day, it's her job to be liked, and every other month she's in some other controversy that's causing people on the internet to look at her and go, ugh, I don't like her. And many Black women and queer people are calling her a prime example of white feminism. White feminism essentially is when white women participate in politics that assist them, such as women's rights movements, etc. But when it comes to helping people of color and queer people, they become silent. And the only reason they are silent is because that type of discrimination is not affecting them as human beings.
So I keep seeing these videos about how Chappell Roan is like the definition of white feminism, and I agree, and I'm going to add to that conversation. What's particularly bothering me about her is so many times when people have complimented her style and who she is, she has taken that opportunity to say, hey, I have been heavily influenced by Black trans women and Black drag queens, and she's named them, and she's given that credit, right? So you were okay with using Black women to get your fame, to develop who you are, and attain the level of fame, success, and wealth that you now have, but you don't want to use that privilege and those resources to keep advocating for them? Because to me, a white woman taking a moment to, when she gets a compliment, to say, hey, I want to use this time to give credit where credit's due, and that's the Black women who I've based my identity off of, it shows me that you're aware of white privilege, you're aware of marginalization, and you're aware that those people have given you your success. And there's reasons why maybe you're successful and those Black women are not.
Oh my god, did you see what Chappell? Stop. So you're telling me an exorbitantly wealthy, young, white woman got on a problematic podcast and said problematic things? Wow, I just need some time to really sit with come on, guys. Really? Are we shocked? Are we surprised? Are we flabbergasted that a white feminist said problematic and out of touch things to millions of people? Are you shocked?
And what you notice in this podcast is Chappell Roan is very wishy-washy. She thanks the drag community and the queer community for allowing her to use these camp looks and this drag inspiration, but then will go on and say, but how do you expect me to be involved with politics? How do you expect me to stay up to date with what's going on in the world? Babe, that's what your aesthetic is. Your aesthetic is not just drag. You can't just be working the drag and then not be caring about those people behind the drag. You know what I'm saying? And it's giving you're getting dragged on the internet for acting a fool every 15 seconds. And a lot of people are claiming that she's a Republican in disguise, being that, you know, she's from Missouri, and she has claimed various times that she wants to help protect her conservative friends and family members.
A big part of Chappell's story is the fact that she is from Missouri and that her family is very Republican, conservative, wealthy, and MAGA. She comes from an upper middle class family. Her mom was a vet, her dad was retired from the Navy, and that he also owned a string of vet businesses in the area. So they did pretty well for themselves. They also had very strong conservative beliefs and were very vocally MAGA.
And I mean, as you should, I guess, but if you as a pop star and you as a human being who has created, you know, this persona, it doesn't make any sense for you to have conservative beliefs and then enter a liberal space, period. Not in this day and age, because it's very wishy-washy. There's nothing wishy-washy about it. It's currently black and white. There's no need to dive any deeper into it. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you don't understand what I'm saying. And I'm not going to explain it, because at this point, there's nothing that needs to be explained. It's currently getting to the point where people on the internet are tired of her using drag and being queer as a disguise, for her basically admitting that she does not really care about the communities that she participates in, nor does she care about those black women that she was taking inspiration from, nor does she care about those people that sit up and listen to her music, period. Now, let's get into my conclusions. Let's just cut it up to what it is. She's a queer white woman from Missouri who has a conservative family. If you had to take a quiz on that, and a quiz on what type of belief she would have, there you go. She's going to be wishy-washy because she low-key does have conservative beliefs, even though she's a queer woman. And she's allowed to be that way because she's white. Doechii and Chappell Roan are essentially in the same position. Doechii is also a black woman who is also queer, yet she goes out of her way to employ those same people who listen to her music, and she goes out of her way to advocate against these laws that harm her communities. Clock it. Can you say the same about Chappell Roan? No, you can't. And she should heavily consider media training, because at this point it's like every public event that she goes to and she speaks at, or even when you see her at red carpets and like she'll just be sitting there looking mad, it's just like, babe, you need a media team immediately, because you're causing people on the internet to further hate you more than they do. Now all of the drag communities, the black communities, the white women, the mothers, conservatives, and Republicans are dragging you all at once. How do you get the internet so upset at you at one time? You may not have time to be involved in politics, but you and your team should create some time for you to go to some media training classes. But yeah, that was it for this video. If you liked it, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow my other channel, my socials, and have a beautiful day.
Life move fast and you know what you want. My newest look like But she don't love me.